So this dude is a total sellout. So I've already criticized present father, aka Grizzly Adams, for 100% of his videos being whining, crying, pissing, and moaning about the family court system and having no answers. And now he has this video where he's recommending a book from a family law attorney. Now, it's that gay dude in LA who supposedly cares about fathers, but he sells a book for 50 bucks or whatever. And I know people who've gotten screwed by that guy. That guy says that I'm too radical and I got full custody of my kid without an attorney. And that guy's an attorney. He's part of the system. What is he doing? What is that? The guy who writes this book, I'll show you the video in a second. The guy who writes this book, what the hell is he, what the hell is he doing to fix the system? Nothing. See, all these attorneys who are making money selling you something aren't doing anything about this. Is Judge Anthony, this guy right here. And they talk about fathers' rights, but they're not banding together and upending the system. They would have better leverage to do it than the average fathers' rights group, you know, with fruity feminine gay boys like Mark Ludwig touring the, you know, they're making money. And then I find out this dude's got a membership for a dad's group where they sit around and pout and whine and cry about how the system sucks, and they don't have any answers. Here I am helping people win in court now, and this guy's whining and crying like a little bitch. And then he's telling you he probably got paid by this guy. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But see, this guy is licking the sack of attorneys because he worships attorneys and he goes to court and all he talks about is doom and gloom. You got to pay thousands and thousands to go to court. Now he finally says that you could do it yourself when the information's been out there for 25 years to do it yourself. This guy is so dumb, such a low IQ Neanderthal. He sounds dumb as a rock, just like he is as dumb as he sounds. Sound like a dumb jock. He talks about how corrupt attorneys are, and then he's like, hey, look at this book from an attorney. Buy it. The guy who wrote that book also said guys should never do contempt motions. I got my baby's mom found in contempt on my first try. Family law attorneys are the ones who created and built the corrupt system that we have. And this guy is saying, oh, you don't have to go to court. You can represent yourself. And here's how you do it. Trust an attorney. You guys wonder why I'm so harsh on fathers. It's because they do stupid bullcrap like this retarded idiot. Bash the system, bash attorneys. The attorneys are corrupt. The system's corrupt. The judges are corrupt. The judges used to be attorneys. So it's a corrupt system built by a mafia of attorneys. And this guy is saying, how do you beat the mafia? Read a book written by the mafia. This gay boy has no self-awareness whatsoever. He's a subhuman POS sellout like every other father's rights advocate out there. You know, Ryan, the tough dad, he spent 7 years and like $18,000, something like that, and he got 50-50. Great. I'm glad for him, but he's still running around telling people to get attorneys. One time I criticized him. He goes, oh, I respect what you do. And then he turns around and he rides the nutsack of Mark Ludwig all day long like he's the savior to the father's rights movement. All these guys are sitting whining and crying like a bunch of PUSSYs. And then when this numbnuts, Grizzly Adams, low IQ Neanderthal, caveman, finally realizes you can represent yourself, even though the information's been out there. See, I found out you can represent yourself within the first week of me looking. I called attorneys. They said they wanted $5,000 to get every weekend. I'm like, that's bullcrap. You're not going to try for more than that? No. Then I hung up on their face. I wasn't a pussy like this guy who said, whatever the attorneys say, I just believe them. With his big burly voice and no brain cells functioning. Now, I wouldn't bash dads like this if they weren't lying, piece of shit, sellouts, Neanderthals who haven't evolved yet, and they're doing insane stuff like saying the system is corrupt, the system built by attorneys and ran by attorneys and judges who used to be attorneys. And then he recommends the way you get out of this corrupt system is representing yourself and buy a book written by an attorney who's never had kids himself, I assume, because he's gay, who said that men should never do a contempt motion, even though I won my first contempt. I got countless clients who won contempt, and you pussy-ass bitches never even try contempt. And this attorney that wrote this book says, don't try contempt. Oh, that James guy, he's too radical. Yeah, I'm so radical, I got full custody of my daughter. I won in the Court of Appeals twice, which I'm sure The gay boy attorney never did. Then he's writing a book to sell people. And then let's just take a look at it. And then this dude's got a store. I think he's got merch in it also. So buy merch from a loser dad and then be in a loser dad's group, spend money and enrich him for loser dads. And see, somebody just criticized me, James, you have so much potential. If you wouldn't bash dads, you would be more popular. I'm not here to be popular, you fruity feminine women, you tranny little bitches. I'm not here to be popular. I'm here to find the guys who want to fight. I tried to do the nice guy thing the first few years I was a father's rights advocate, and all the dads were even more pussies. So I sift through the pussies, and there's still just as many 99% of them are pussies. And I sift through the ones that are pussies to find the guys that really actually want to fight or are sick and tired of being pussies. It's like I'm pulling people out of the matrix. Nobody wants to be out of the matrix because they like living their comfortable life and they don't want to see the reality that you're in a war over your kids and you have to go to war. You would think a big burly dude like this with a deep voice would want to go to war, but he always pays his attorneys and takes the pussy route. And now he's taking a total sellout route. So let's take a look at his video.
Family court. So I went looking for answers. I sat down with David Massara, a family law attorney with 27 years under his belt, to find.
If you have 27 years under your belt, that means that you've learned how to make as much money as possible for as little effort as possible. So this guy, finally, after preaching, you got to spend $400 an hour on an attorney. You got to do as attorneys. You got to use attorneys. I lost with attorneys. I keep losing with attorneys. I keep paying attorneys and I keep losing. How come at one point you didn't say, you know what, I'm tired of spending money on attorneys and losing. I can lose for free. This guy is a bottom hole for the family law attorneys, because when he finally has some answers, it's because he sat down with an attorney who pretends to be a father's rights advocate who tells fathers don't do contempt and get the mother in trouble because he wants to play softball, and he thinks a guy like me is radical because I'm manly and he's gay and he doesn't know how to be manly. So watch this shit.
A real solution for guys like us. And I found it. It's called Dad's Child Custody Action Plan. And listen. Okay, where's the testimonies that this worked? This guy just believes him because he's the family law attorney, because this guy is a follower simp bitch who, if you have the title of family law attorney, or he probably listens to whatever doctors say. He's probably riding around in his car with a mask by himself in 2026. Whatever attorneys say, whatever they say, I believe it in blind faith. Where's the proof? Where's the proof? This guy doesn't believe in proof or evidence. He just believes in just trust attorneys blindly and go and spend $10, $20, $30, $40,000 and then keep trusting them and then complain about it later. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm doing just fine because I have my, let me finish this. It's not some fancy lawyer talk. It's straight up step-by-step tactics. The stuff no one tells you until it's too late.
Okay, so did that attorney pay him? Or did he actually apply some of this stuff and it worked? He doesn't say anything about any testimonies. So let's look at this guy's main page. He has a store, and it says spend $10 a month to be part of a membership of what? High Conflict Communication Guide. This guy says that he keeps losing in court over and over and over. Like, he goes to court and he wins, but he still has to pay attorney fees, or he still has to spend attorney fees. So nobody wins. He doesn't get the mother sanctioned, or he doesn't get her called out for frivolous abuse of the process. And he's sitting there writing a book himself, it looks like. It's a membership for fathers who are tired of reacting, ready to respond with clarity, control, and confidence. He keeps saying he doesn't gain anything in court, but then he's going to sell you stuff. How many times are we supposed to follow and listen to losers? Because become a present father member. Here's your credit card, join, or PayPal. What a sellout piece of shit. He's just like everybody else. Whine, cry, piss, moan. Whine, cry, piss, moan. Wham, wham, wham. Wham, wham, wham. I lose in court all the time. Or I don't really gain anything. I didn't have the balls to actually go for full custody of my kids because I'm a pussy-ass bitch sellout. And then, you know what? You should buy stuff from me because I'm so smart. Get the frick out of here, you punk ass.